Hey everyone, I'm Laura Gadenik. I'm an astrologer and a therapist. I'm here to give you the astrology for the weeks of June 1st through the 14th, 2026. So today on the 1st of June, we have Mercury heading into the sign of Cancer. Now we have 3 planets in this sign. We have Mercury, Venus, and Jupiter. So overall, this should be a really fortuitous time. June is probably one of the best months of the year because we have the 2 benefics in the sign of Cancer, Venus and Jupiter, and now Mercury, a planet that represents our minds and how we think and communicate, is now also in this sign with the benefics. And so our minds might turn more towards security, connection, maybe even being a little bit more of a homebody. Literally today, as I was at work, I was thinking, what are the things I'm going to make at home today? Like kind of like homemade goods, things that are nourishing or nurturing, whether emotionally or physically, for your stomach or for your gut. Cancer does rule the stomach. Today I was brainstorming or kind of daydreaming about making water kefir and sauerkraut and homemade yogurt, like coconut yogurt. And these are all very Cancerian things to be thinking about. Things that are nurturing, comforting, delicious, sweet. These are all very Cancer. And so now that Mercury's here, our minds are also geared towards these Cancerian themes of home and family and comfort and things that are nurturing, maybe even our emotions as well. I will say Mercury has a little bit of a struggle the first couple days that Mercury is in Cancer because Mercury is approaching a square with Neptune on Wednesday the 3rd. So there's a little bit of a Mercury retrograde moment where things feel a little bit hazy, confusing. There might be miscommunications, tech breakdowns. It kind of feels once again like a mini Mercury retrograde. So just expect for the unexpected and give people grace in their communications, and things might not be totally clear. Mercury-Neptune is also a transit about deception and theft and things like that. So I'd watch out with signing any paperwork around this time, the days leading up to Wednesday the 3rd, or, just be wary of factual information versus wishful thinking, and versus deceit. Just something to watch out for. Tuesday the 2nd, the sun makes a sextile to Saturn. So I'm backtracking just a little bit. So this is pretty quick, not the biggest deal. It's a little bit stabilizing. It helps us work towards long-term goals. It'll move on pretty fast. I forgot to mention Mercury square Neptune. While it's not good for facts or logic or having clear conversations with people about what might have happened, it's a really good time for daydreaming, for any creative pursuits, for writing, poetry, songs, any sort of creative writing, and for kind of like daydreaming, getting lost in a flow state, allowing yourself to get lost in fantasy in some way. So focus more on those elements of life rather than clarity, getting things done quickly, productivity. That's not really Mercury, Neptune. So on Tuesday the 9th, we have Venus, Jupiter making a conjunction at 25 degrees of Cancer. This is really, really sweet. Once again, the 2 benefics coming together in the sign of Cancer, which is the sign where Jupiter is exalted, meaning Jupiter functions super well in the sign of Cancer. So this is a great time for celebrations, gatherings, opportunities. And sorry, I should have said Thursday the 9th, not Tuesday. I'm misreading my notes. It is Tuesday the 9th. So this is the following week. We do have a bit of a gap from Wednesday the 3rd through Tuesday the 9th. There's really not much going on. It's pretty gentle and quiet. So Tuesday the 9th, this is when that Venus-Jupiter conjunction are happening. Once again, good time for celebrations, gatherings, opportunities might present themselves. Forgiveness, harmony, if there's been any relational tension. One of the things to watch out for might be spending a lot of money, which might be fine depending on your situation. And generally speaking, you might experience some good things in the part of your chart that contains Cancer. Whatever house that is for you, expect to see some opportunities flowing your way, blessings, openings, connections, etc. So yeah, and this is a pretty big moment because Jupiter is about to head into the sign of Leo come the end of the month. So this is kind of like one big last hurrah in this really lovely place for Jupiter before Jupiter heads into a very different sign. Jupiter in Leo is very boisterous, extroverted, loud, confident, whereas Cancer is very introverted and subtle and sensitive and a little bit more yin and quiet. So definitely enjoy this moment on Tuesday the 9th. And of course, you might think about this about the days leading up to the 9th and the maybe 1 or 2 days after the 9th. It's really going to color the whole week, I would say. What's interesting about Tuesday the 9th is that there is also a Mercury square Saturn, which is like a totally different vibe. Mercury square Saturn is like the opposite vibe of Venus and Jupiter coming together. Once again, Mercury is our communications, our thoughts, and Saturn can be experienced as a bit of a downer. It can be experienced as getting a no, getting a hard limit. And it might even be a hard limit in terms of like what you can focus on or do that day. It might be that Saturn saying, no, we can't push past this limit. We're done for now. It could also be that we're needing to be a little bit more disciplined mentally around something and push through something that requires more effort, more attentiveness to detail. We might have to be, once again, just a little bit more focused or disciplined. Watch out for pessimism or negative thinking. Sometimes that can come up with Mercury, Saturn. Don't always believe that negative voice in your head if you have one that tells you you're not good enough or you're being rejected or you'll never get somewhere, etc. Just notice that as a voice that comes up and watch it pass away. You can even do some visualizations as, kind of imagining those thoughts as clouds, just kind of floating away, or maybe leaves floating down the river. So yeah, I don't really know what to think of these two contrasting transits happening on the same day. I mean, Venus and Jupiter is bringing goodness and sweetness to a very particular part of your chart, your Cancer house, whereas Mercury is in Cancer as well, so that is interesting. So Saturn is saying maybe no, or try a little bit harder, or not yet. Or, the classic thing to watch out for with this is needing to have hard conversations, set boundaries, be realistic, tell the truth, and really also clarify. Saturn is a planet that really wants us to get to the bones of something, get to the bones of the matter, and can really help us let go of things that are excessive or that are not needed or that are unnecessary. So it could be a good time to clarify your plans, clarify your thoughts around something, get clear on a vision or a goal, and kind of carve away and get rid of the excess of like what no longer matters or what doesn't really fit. So that's Tuesday the 9th. Then we don't really have anything until Saturday the 13th. Venus heads into Leo. Jupiter is heading into the sign once again at the end of the month, so we will get to experience them together again in the same sign. Venus in Leo is loud and proud. She wants you to help you shine and be seen and be extravagant and maybe a little bit boisterous. Venus in Leo is a great performer, and you might even notice wanting to embody that a little bit more as she travels through Leo. And of course, this is going to bring sweetness and goodness and connections and all the Venusian things to the part of your chart that contains Leo, whatever house that is for you. We end this 2-week series with a new moon at 24 degrees of Gemini on Sunday, the 14th of June. So this is new beginnings in this part of your chart. Good time to set intentions around themes related to your Gemini house. What do you want to see grow? What do you wish for, hope for? And of course, it's not about just setting intentions and then not taking action. It's about setting intentions and then taking little pieces of action along the way throughout the course of the lunar cycle. So yeah, we have that new moon in Gemini on the 14th, and that is the astrology for the next couple of weeks. If you are interested in how this astrology lands for you more personally, I do private readings, and we can go over how this and also other major big transits, how they are impacting you, what cycle of life you're in, how you can ready yourself, prepare, and kind of what to expect also. So if that interests you, please reach out. You can either comment here or go to my website, lauragodenek.com. Otherwise, I'll be back in 2 weeks with another astrological update, and I hope you have a wonderful couple of weeks. Take care.